The hype train is a dangerous one to ride. Only the greatest stay on board and become UFC champions. So what do you do when you fall off the tracks?
Okay, Paddy's not as good as we thought he was.
And when you scrape by a decision like that, you've got to be humble.
Anyone that thinks he won that fight doesn't know what they're watching. I don't give a flying fuck what anyone's got to say about me.
Hero to villain, loved to hated. The only option left to prove them all wrong.
I think it's because I like shutting people up and proving people wrong.
There is no prerequisite to becoming a mixed martial artist, but a tough upbringing can often light the fire within. The streets of Liverpool provided that drive, instilling a work ethic that few could match.
What's your name?
Paddy Pimblett.
Okay, do you have a fight nickname?
My coach calls me Paddy the Paddy Pimblett. I used to sell Lucasades and that in school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that got me my money to pay for me MMA, to go and train MMA. I got nicked selling one day, and I got put in one of the teacher's offices. And the teacher being like, "What are you doing this for?" Blah blah. I was like, "Well, I'm using it to pay for me gym." She was like, "Oh, you don't want to do that, Patrick. You're too small. You should be using your brain. You're not big enough for any of that. You're too small for all that."
Who would say to someone, "You're not going to do that. You'll never amount to anything. You're not going to do that"? Who says that to someone?
I was like, "Yeah, is that what you think?" I came to Next Gen and I went in, started training. As they say, the rest is history, lad.
Paddy's early talent was clear and obvious, an opportunistic grappler whose skill set could end the fight at any moment. Regional UK promotion Cage Warriors would soon spot his talents, a common proving ground for many greats of the UFC. Paddy aimed to not just walk in their footsteps, but surpass them entirely. His tenure there was characteristic of the man, chaotic and wild, but with great success came the agony of defeat.
I had a proper rough patch in like 2018. I got surgery in the May and then I fought in September. I fought because I felt like the whole weight of the show was on my shoulders. I ended up losing a decision. I felt like I'd let everyone down. I'll never forget going back into the changes and just crying my eyes out. I was just the same for weeks. Every morning, lad, I'd just roll over and start crying. Every single morning without fail. For about 3 months.
Within that pain, a light in the dark. For with loss came a learning experience and a new motivation to ensure he would never feel that way again. Even with his imperfect record, Paddy was a promoter's dream. Looking more akin to a weedy salesman than a stereotypical MMA fighter, it was that vulnerable authenticity and unconventionality in appearance and fighting style that made him so popular. With the UFC's dominant monopoly over the MMA space, it's extremely rare to have a fighter make global waves out of it. Paddy was that outlier, just like Conor McGregor before him, and he knew it too. The UFC had come knocking years prior, seeing his potential, but Pimblett would bet on himself and turn his back on the sport's premier promotion.
I know when I get there that I won't just be a European superstar, I'll be a world superstar after one interview. A lot of people rush at the chance to get in the UFC. They'll take short notice fights, they'll lose the short notice fight. Your dream's over. I didn't want that to happen to me. I was only 21 when they offered me a contract. I was very small. I'm so happy that I never took the offer. That money that I got for them few fights off Cage Warriors, I've got my own house. I paid my mum's mortgage off. I helped my sister get a new kitchen. You know what I mean?
How hard is it to say no to the UFC?
When you've got this much belief in yourself, it's not that hard. Because I knew full well that they were going to ask me again.
Declining 2 UFC deals was the ultimate power play. A middle finger to the big leagues and its boss. And it worked. That gamble gave extra time to hone the craft, fill the frame, and be paid handsomely as a result. But eventually that time would come, those 3 big letters knocking once more. And this time he would make that jump into a brave new world. Paddy's UFC debut would come rather unceremoniously. Faced with experienced newcomer Luigi Vendramini, he was in truth looking past that man. A dangerous game to play in the realm of MMA. But Paddy knew he was onto bigger and better things. As I say, I've always known it wasn't a question of if the UFC wants to sign me, it was when. Look at me, I've got the personality, the look, and I can fight. I'm a marketer's wet dream. If he wants to strike with me, I think I'll TKO or knock him out. If he wants to grapple with me, I think I'll submit him.
I feel he's too confident, talk too much, and this is the key.
I can't see him getting out the first round. He's never fought no one like me.
So here he is, Paddy the Paddy Pimblett, 16-3, former Cage Warriors featherweight champion. He believes he is ready to put his proverbial best foot forward.
He feels as though he will be the face of the UFC. This kid has something, man. If he has fighting ability to match, he will be something to deal with. That chin's up a little bit for Paddy. Yeah, he did that jab with his chin up in the air.
Showed everyone that I can come through adversity as well, because he did catch you with a nice left hook.
Corner. Oh! Huge left for Benjamini.
That's that chin up in the air, Mikey.
I told you, man.
Better tuck that chin.
Benjamini right now is in firm control of this fight.
In the end, it was these hands, lad. It was these hands what put him down.
Mike, he's a fighter.
Oh!
Look at that.
Right from Paddy the Baddy. The Baddy has died.
He is a fighter, boy.
Debut.
You know me saying, lad? I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out. I take that all day.
A debut deserving of a crowd to cheer every punch. The finish was fitting of the man. Erratic, unorthodox, but undeniably exciting. Paddy had built this hype organically, being unapologetically himself inside and out of the cage. All of it had culminated in that moment, that flurry of blows catapulting him into superstardom overnight.
As I say, I'm the new face of the UFC. You better get used to it, because the man's arrived. I'm infectious. You know what I mean? I'm very polarising. Some people love me, some people hate me, but you're gonna watch me fight.
The medieval peasant appearance, the scout's boldness made familiar by Darren Till. Pimblett was never here to be the nice guy. He was going all in to make waves. The UFC knew what they had on their hands, a star in the making. And a quick turnaround to grace a home crowd at UFC London was the perfect opportunity to do something special. A tactical play that served as a launchpad to prove Paddy's hype wasn't just numbers on a screen. Granted a layup against the lesser opponent in Rodrigo Vargas, for Paddy it was the perfect opportunity, but not one to be glossed over. Greater warriors had fallen under the heavy weight of expectations before, tempted by superstardom and its various distractions. But for Paddy, it wasn't booze nor money that would divert him come fight week. Instead, another man fighting the very same night.
It didn't happen because he told me something yesterday. It comes from a long time ago.
He started to talk about the war we had against Russia and that
he posed, now I understand why Russia destroyed Georgia, because you are dumps.
And many kids died in that war. Many people died in that war.
I was living in Georgia when that war happened, you know. And it was a very difficult time for me, for my family, for all my friends, for my country, you know, a lot of innocent people, kids.
So I'm just standing there eating my eggs. He looks over, just looked down, I was like, what's happening, lad?
He looked at me like a nice guy and he wanted to shake my hand.
Paddy took a hand sanitizer, threw it at Ilia.
He's like, hold me back. Hold me back, lads, hold me back. Didn't do nothing because he's a maggot.
So Paddy the Baddy now has decided that he is going to nickname this gentleman Mr. Hand Sanitizer. Said, I never think about him. Said he's going to get beat this weekend. He's going to go back down a weight class.
Like, as I say, I don't even know his name, lad. He's Mr. Hand Sanitizer to me. He's going to get knocked out on Saturday by my man, Jai. And then he'll crawl back to the featherweight division.
Glossing over your opponent in favour of a potential one down the line was a risky endeavour, especially when it was the man we now know as a featherweight great. But Paddy knew this game well. Stories sell, rivalries more so, and he had laid the seeds for a future duel down the line. If anything, it had only drawn more eyes to his next one, eagerly anticipated by a crowd 20,000 strong.
Paddy, I got to walk in with Paddy in London. The crowd was chanting his name.
Buckle up, boys. Paddy the Baddy is ready to go. The fans in the O2 are ready for this one as well.
As soon as I'd done that little J-throw judo throw and put him on his back, I was like, yeah, it's over now.
Paddy knows what to do here. Here we go. This could be it. He's done it. Paddy has done it in London.
All the talk going into this fight about his walk-in and all the listen, it's real. This kid's got a ton of hype behind him, and tonight he showed everybody that he's the real deal.
The UFC wanted tangible proof of his draw power, and they most certainly got it. Bringing back shades of the notorious in Dublin, Till in Liverpool, that walkout had something special, and the masses knew it. Reflected by $1 million deal with Barstool Sports, Paddy's hype train had reached a new gear, and instead of shying away, he reveled in it.
He's a character. He's a character that is selling numbers, it's selling seats, and you can see his number and his ranking is just going straight up. I think he's got all the pieces to be superstar potential.
Oh, Paddy, I'm a fan. At the end of the day, I think it's pretty objective that Paddy is fucking fun to watch.
Who's not jacked to watch Paddy?
Dog,
He's just talking, his hair
bro,
fluffing.
Come on, bro. You got the look, you got everything.
I'm just the main man, lad. I'm the one that everyone wants the interviews with. I'm the one that everyone wants the pictures with and to come and see. And It's just a fact.
Unrelenting self-belief, or perhaps blatant arrogance? Paddy would say you need both. Eager to maintain momentum after a legendary night in London, the UFC would aim to replicate the same success only months later, putting their shiny new toy against the admirable Jordan Levitt. And come the build-up, it was the very same. Brash, unapologetic, and Paddy going verbally all in.
I didn't mind him, lad, before the fight got announced, know what I mean? But he's been talking all sorts of crazy shit, lad, and he's an absolute crab.
If I watch this kid get chinned by two guys who were not the best, almost lose, and then kind of take victory from the jaws of defeat, I think I'm going to handily beat him.
He's trying to talk shit, lad. It's mad. Can't believe he's talking about my opponents. That Trey Ogden, lad. Me nan's dead and she'd finish him. Please come out and try and finish me, kid. This is a message just for you, Jordan. Come out and try and finish me. Actually, come out and fight.
We've done a lot of the same things, me and Paddy, but I've done it without taking any damage. No one knows about my chin because I don't get hit.
He's just trying to get in my head, being a little weirdo like he is, but no one can out-weird me. I'm weirder than anyone. Yes, I'm going to teabag him, lad. I'm going to teabag him like it's Modern Warfare 2.
This time, there was no distractions from passing fighters and new enemies. Instead, something far graver that would soon come to the fore. But a job was to be done first and foremost, to find victory and sate the masses chanting your name.
And he's got that neck, he's got the neck! This could be it, so it's going under. That's tight, he gets it! He gets the tap! The Paddy party goes to the next level!
With that victory came weight off the shoulders and an outpour of emotion. A chance on the big stage not to call out and spit crude words, but to speak his truth.
I woke up on Friday morning at 4 a.m. to a message that one of my friends back home had killed himself 5 hours before me weigh-in. So Ricky, lad, that's for you. But there's a stigma in this world that men can't talk. If you're a man and you've got weight on your shoulders and you think the only way you can solve it's by killing yourself, please speak to someone. Speak to anyone.
In an occupation where the masculine status quo is rarely challenged and the athletes who compete are known to stifle up their emotions, Paddy's heartfelt plea was not just a challenge to the norm, but a stark reminder of the problems these fighters and us mere mortals face every day. Though his tone directly opposed his brash, confident mic moments we are accustomed to, the words uttered were authentic all the same, vulnerable yet real, and it would resonate with the masses. Pimblett's performance may not have been his best, but that emotional outpour rose his stock more than any punch or kick ever could.
To use some of that time and use that platform to send messages like that, and it's so true as well. People do need to speak because it's happening way too much.
I think it speaks more volumes about the type of person that he is overall, and I thought that was really cool, man, for him to talk about mental health of men.
I've come through lots of battles with depression and mental health, and at such a young age, I've come through a lot of stuff, and people don't see that side of fighting. People only see, you get in the cage, you fight, you know what I mean? People don't see the ups and downs that you have outside the cage. And
fighters have that stigma of being like rough and tumble, tough guys, don't need to talk, you know, we're fighters. And to use his platform in our industry to bring across the awareness for mental health, especially for men, absolutely hats off, wonderful.
Paddy had reached his fan peak, but when you were at the top, the crown weighs heavy, and those vying for your downfall grow in numbers. They needed something to pick at, something to criticize, and they would find it.
I'd rather be fat and happy than ripped, and like these people who are ripped all year round aren't happy. I'm not arsed.
And you see the lifestyle he's living, and you see how much trouble these guys at the very bottom of the UFC are giving him. To think that he's going to get to a super elite spot, I feel like he's going to have to change his training.
He gained 40 pounds in a week.
God damn. What's gonna be? What about when he's retired eventually? He's gonna. He's gonna be
butterbean.
I love Thai food. I love Chinese food. I love roast dinners. I love Italian food, burgers, pizza. Oh, lad. Genuinely think I'm a food addict. I think I've got a little bit. I think I've got a bit of an eating disorder because of MMA.
Paddy's out-of-camp decisions were hardly optimal, especially in a game where the margins between victory and loss are oh so thin. And whilst the results had gone his way thus far, he was fighting a losing battle. The double-edged nature of the hype train. Eventually your novelty wears off, and those who once supported you and cheered your name now shun and boo. But it was not a fight that would catalyze that outcome. Instead, a publicized feud with a media mainstay.
I hate all these journalists, especially the ones what earn off us. Know what I mean? Like Ariel Helwani in particular, like he loves earning money off fighters. He wanted me to do an interview with him. I had a paid interview that day, and he wanted me to really let go of that paid interview to do an interview with him.
That's not true. That's absolutely unequivocally not true. I never asked him to drop anything that was paid or not paid.
Get your dough out, Ariel. Know what I mean? Start paying people for these interviews, what you make thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds on.
In my entire career, dating back to 2006, I have not earned a single penny from YouTube off of any of the MMA stuff that I put out there.
And you're doing it for exposure. No, you're not. You're doing it to put money in your pocket, Ariel, you little rodent.
I have never gotten a dime because a show did 100,000 views, 10,000 views, 1 million views. I have a contract and I make the exact same amount, and I have never even gotten a bonus.
Innately, it was not a good look cozying up with your boss, the UFC helmsman who many consider an enemy of the fighters. Helwani had come up with the receipts, and combined with his long-standing reputation amongst fighters and fans alike, the whole debacle had turned Paddy from hero to villain overnight. But he would have the opportunity to turn his fortunes around through a death of blood. Given a coveted co-main event spot at UFC 282, lightweight mainstay Jared Gordon was to stand across from him. Another likely ploy by the UFC brass to build Paddy's hype even further. The odds reflected a foregone conclusion like the many bouts before. But in what was emerging as a common pattern, Paddy's focus lay on another man come fight week instead of his opponent.
Back in your mouth, please, loudly, shut up. If not, I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
Do it then, you little fart.
You have
another question? Do it then, you little do something, stand up. What'll you do? You'll do nothing. You little fart. Go and sit back down. Sit back down, you little...
Topuria aside, with a victory and an endearing mic moment, it could be a chance, with more eyes on him than ever to right any wrongs in the eyes of fans. But to Paddy and most greats of this game, the only goal was those 10.5 pounds of gold. And if he had to become a villain to get there, then it was a necessary sacrifice.
Oh! He clipped him again. Oh! My goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I'm going at it. Can't miss with the left hook.
He is finding a home for that beautiful left hook.
I saw you, by the way, you roll your eyes when Paddy won.
Shouldn't have won.
We're looking at each other.
We're looking at each other. I said to you right before, I go, he got it. I go, Jared got him.
Yeah.
And we both agreed. And then I looked at you like, what the fuck? That didn't make any sense. I thought it was 2-1.
Paddy, that was a close one.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't close. You just consoled me in a fed.
Paddy's deep ties with Dana White, established after the Helwani incident, had not helped his case. Rumours of judge interference, protection of the UFC's golden goose. Whether distracted by drama, caught up in his newfound fame, or simply being technically outclassed by his adversary. By all accounts, Paddy was the lesser man that night, and everyone but himself saw it.
Anyone that thinks he won that fight doesn't know what they're watching. I don't give a flying fuck what anyone's got to say about me. How did anyone think he won that fight? Do you win fights for getting punched in the face? Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. The fact is, I won by unanimous decision. How does anyone think he won that fight, though? Are you smoking crack?
Though he sat within the win column, Paddy had missed the chance to show a level of humility and raise his stock further. Brash confidence works well within the eyes of fans when one is winning, as Ilia Topuria will tell you. But to maintain those same principles when the world is against you, admirable in some ways, but ultimately foolish. With the performance that made him mortal, the fighters who once ducked him were now coming out of the woodwork, eager to siphon any hype left.
Anytime Dana throws his arm around a guy, the detractors come in very passionately. It's just a story that always works.
In the moment, he has a lot of hype, this and that, but the quality of the fighter he is, man, come on, please.
Was there anything that he did that impressed you?
Yeah, the way he blocks Jared punches with his chin, it was very impressive, you know?
Everyone in our building was like, damn, Paddy lost.
No, UFC will not let me fight him. Let's be honest. I mean, we watched his last fight, and we know what I'm capable of. We got Dana, UFC, and all those. They won't let that happen.
Fighters aside, the masses were still eager to tune in, but not to see Paddy's rise to a belt, but to see him get his comeuppance. It would have to wait, though, as injury would keep him on the sidelines. If there was a small silver lining to any of this, is that the heavy weight of expectations had finally been lifted. Though inside, his lofty ambitions of becoming a champion were very much present. To the fans, Paddy had now been written off, quickly dismissed as a journeyman. An imminent loss was expected, and another adversary would attempt to deliver that outcome. the once fit boogeyman El Kukui, Tony Ferguson.
Tony does stuff to people. That Cowboy fight freaked me out. Cowboy looked like Tony had bricks in his gloves.
He's legit crazy.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't, like, I don't know if he feels pain. That kind of crazy.
Once is a word most fitting. For all of Tony Ferguson's successes, an interim championship, 12 years unbeaten inside the company's deepest weight class, those years were long gone. The striking unorthodoxy and craftiness remained within, but the body ached and the mind waned. And 6 straight losses, even if against very credible competition, only proved it. But Tony had experience where Paddy sorely lacked, facing and beating greater competition than anyone the Scouser had bested prior. Dispatching the old guard was a usual result seen before. But MMA is a volatile game, and regardless of their duel's outcome, Paddy was in a lose-lose situation.
This fight's a lose-lose for me, you know what I mean? Tony Ferguson, I don't care what anyone says. He's on a 6-fight losing streak. But when I win, everyone's just going to be like, oh, it's Tony Ferguson, he's finished, he's this, he's that. But if I lose, everyone's like, oh, he's been beat by a finished Tony Ferguson. But as I've told you all in the past, I will never turn down a fight.
I'm going to hurt this kid. I'm going to hurt him bad. I don't have anything against him, but damn it, he's in my way.
I don't even care about you, dude.
I'm not that much of a little to block someone on Instagram.
You know what? I'm not that sensitive. I don't even have to look at
little sensitive boy. Don't call boy. I made you my little boy, making you block.
Go make me a cup of tea.
It's like that cliche saying, when your heroes become your rivals. Even I want to see Tony go out on a win, but I can't let him do it at my expense, lad. It's not happening.
He clipped him. He just threw a kick and fell backwards. And it looks like he's... this combination's it.
It goes down.
When he started talking shite last week, the other day, I wanted to come in and make a statement.
Upon reaching the bottom, the only way is up. For Paddy to claw back any positive reception from the fans, he needed a disciplined performance that proved his fighting evolution and championship mettle against a durable opponent. And that is exactly what we got. A far cry from the erratic and wild days gone by in Cage Warriors and his early UFC tenure. This new version of Pimblett was disciplined, measured and patient. Some doubters silenced, but in truth, they never fully could be. Fans are never satisfied even when one reaches the very top. And the only thing Paddy could do was return to the training room and prepare to silence them again. A shot at the lightweight top 15, no small feat in a division as deep as it was. The custodian of that 15th spot, newly renamed King Green, a veteran of the game garnering great momentum in a sport where time was against him. A volume striker with the trash talking to boot, he served as an ample test for the Englishman. Emboldened by a home crowd in Manchester, this was a springboard opportunity for Paddy to make a statement in front of a crowd that was cheering his name, not booing it, and remind the world of what he was capable of.
I feel like Bobby's going to kind of walk him down and punk.
I'd bet right now I think Bobby might piece him.
Bobby Green's got good striking, bro. He's got that threshold. And I just don't know if Paddy Pimblett could really... Does he have that power to take this dude down?
Has Paddy the Baddy improved? Has he gotten better? Is his chin going to still be up in the air?
Paddy the Baddy's been out, guys. You're forgetting about that. Paddy the Baddy's only had one fight in a year and a half.
You want to find out? Hit the deck and grapple with me, let's see what happens, because I know I'll drown.
Bobby, King, takedown, there's guillotine attempt. Now, triangle. It was under the chin for a second, but the triangle is tight. That is locked in.
This is tight.
And the old one is ready, it's going to be done. There it is, it's done. Paddy Pimblett by submission in round one. He chokes King Green to sleep, or so it appears. Out cold.
If the Tony Ferguson fight had quelled negative fan perception, this performance had silenced the doubters entirely. Against El Kukui, he was measured, yes, perhaps too much at times. Here against Green, Paddy looked like the championship caliber fighter. The submission game everyone always knew he had, now utilized against top competition. It's one thing to board the hype train and ride to golden glory. It's another to fall off the tracks, and it's something truly special to get back on board and keep fighting. Paddy, since his time in the UFC, had done exactly that, proving wrong fans and fighters alike. And through it all, he was unapologetically himself. Against Iron Michael Chandler and beyond, his story continues, but the result in the grand scheme scarcely matters. Paddy, since his arrival, had set the MMA world on fire, reaching a level of notoriety rivaled by few, envied by all.